This is Karen. Welcome to another Friday Frenzy at DoLallyCrafts. This is the card we're making today. I've gone through a bit of a fad at the moment where I like to play with the inks using them as watercolours. So as I said, this is the card we're making today. I think it turned out really pretty and it's exactly what I wanted. So I've already done the watercolouring. I will show you that now so that you can see how I did it. It was basically just stamping the butterflies, spritzing it with a bit of mist and letting it run free. So here you go. Okay, now that that's all done, I've let it dry, so it is really, really dry. I need to find my embossing bag because this is where the fun begins. So we'll give that a really good emboss, powdering, and then bring in the Versamark and the butterfly outline. Now I've just got to be able to see. It doesn't really matter whether I get a perfect outline on the butterflies. I think it makes it more effective, but it's not necessary because we've allowed the paint or ink to have a mind of its own anyway. Now I'll bring in my copper embossing powder. I've got to be careful that I don't pin myself with the spoon at the end because the spoon is actually, now even though I've gone over this with the embossing buddy, I'm still getting, see, it just shows you, even though the paper feels dry to the touch, it actually isn't completely dry because we have the embossing powder is sticking to everything. I wonder why that is. That's very strange. Okay, give this a bit more of a coat. Give it a tap. See, even there. Now, you would swear that this paper was as dry can be, but it's obviously not. Okay, we'll scoot that out the way. Oh, hang on. One of the butterflies doesn't look as though it's been covered properly. So give it a really good coat. Now it's at times like this I wish I had my I have to put more on because I've given it so hard a tap to try and get rid of the bits that are sticking. Okay, that's going to have to do. So we'll see how we go. Put the lid back on the embossing powder and bring in my heat gun. And let's hope for the best. I'm really disappointed in that. Really disappointed. It's at times like this I really wish I had a Misty. I can't understand why we've gotten strange colours. Okay, well it's dry and hopefully we'll be able to get rid of some of that look with the Sierra sand that we're going to come in with here. And I'll do it over this side so that it doesn't look as bad. There we go. Now on that one, as you can see, I stamped off first, but because of the problem we've got with the copper embossing powder on this one, I've decided to do it heavier just in the hopes of masking that. That's really disappointed me, but I'm going to leave it in so that you can see what can happen and how it might turn out great on one, maybe not so great on the other. Now, I just have to find my vellum and bring the vellum sheet in and wipe that down, embossing buddy again, and hopefully it will, the copper's not going to do the same thing this time. Okay, straight down, straight up, bring the copper back in, and I thought all I had to worry about was stabbing myself with the end of a spoon that was a bit too long and had to be trimmed down. Okay, now that one has turned out okay. Although I did notice the copper seems to have left a bit of a stain on the paper. Hopefully it's not going to make... Okay, sorry, there's just a bit of dust on there that I wanted to get rid of. I would normally cut that with a craft knife, but we'll bring in the Stampin' Trimmer and we're going to trim it just above the capital letters. Like okay, so. I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to pause the video. My husband just rang. He wants me to record something for him. There we go. Okay. So just trim that. That's better. Okay. Put that away again. I've got things piled up on all sides of me here at the moment. Okay, so we'll bring our panel back in, and as you can see, it's actually larger than the card will be. So, back to the Stampin' Trimmer, and we will just trim, let's see, trim that side, like so. Now, how wide's that at the moment? So that's over 4 inches. So if we bring that in to 3.5, might actually bring it in to 3.25 inches. There. And then we will bring it, if we brought it in 3/4 inch that way, we've got to make it to 5 inches lengthways. Oh, and would you look at that? We got rid of most of that staining from the copper embossing powder. Woohoo! Card's looking better already. Now, since we've made that 5 inches, we're going to make it, the matting, 5.25, and we made that 3.25, so we'll make that 3.5. This is the copper embossed specialty paper from the, oh, I can't remember the name of it. I don't use it very often, so I will put the name in the bottom, down the bottom there. And because this is warped slightly from the watercolouring, what I'll do, wrap this around the bottom here. So we're going to have it about there. So I'll flip it over and just put a little bit of fast fuse top and bottom, side to side, sorry. We'll pop that. I want it over to that, I might actually move it to that side so we see more of the butterflies. So that's on that side, and then bring that in that side. My house is so quiet at the moment. My daughter is feeling much better than she was last week, so much so she was able to go on school camp on Monday. So they're all up in Canberra, visiting the nation's capital, visiting the War Memorial. She actually sent me a photo today from the War Memorial of a soldier who died, I'm not sure which battle it was, but he shared the same surname as my maiden name. So I had a question from her, did we have anybody in who fought in either of the wars? And even though we did, our relatives won't be on any war memorial over here, because my grandfathers fought in the war for England. So they will be, both of them, if they actually survived the wars. They wouldn't be on a war memorial, but if they they would have been on an English one. Okay, card's almost finished. Woohoo! So all I need to do now, the other one I made flat, this one I'm going to pop up on some foam tape to give it a little bit of dimension. I'm so pleased that when I trimmed this piece of watercolour paper down, I was able to get rid of that nasty staining. Okay, let's see how we go. This will actually take a bit more of the warping out of the watercolour paper, having the foam tape on it as well. I've got to remember next time I go to the craft store to get some of the foam so that I can use it like fun foam, what they call fun foam in the States. Okay, so that's nice and flat. I've got a bit of an excess on that side, so let's see how we go. What's the bet? I'm going to stuff it up right at the end, but here we go. We'll try and trim it off with the scissors instead of, because I've used the foam tape, I'm not going to be able to put it through my Stampin' Trimmer, but I didn't do too bad a job. Okay, there's the one we started with, there's the one we ended up with. I actually like both of them. Unfortunately that looks a bit chunky. I don't know whether it's the font or whether I wobbled a bit with the Versamark. But anyway, that's the card for today. I hope you like it. I do. Alright, I will see you next Friday for another Friday Frenzy. Bye bye.